I am Professor Locke Rogers of the Department of Biology at Agnes Scott College, and this is my 14th or 15th year, something like that. So the biology department has a full range of offerings. We pride ourselves on the diversity of the classes we're able to create for our students. The classes I teach are evolution, behavior. Actually, I guess I don't teach behavior anymore. The classes I teach are evolution. I teach disease ecology. I teach this vertebrate anatomy class. I teach a non-majors environmental biology class. But we have great strength in neuroscience and in microbiology, immunology, genetics. We are a faculty of 7 professors, and again, we teach a very broad selection and spectrum of courses, the range of the full biological sciences. We do have a particular strength in neuroscience and also in ecology. Part of our curriculum requires that students have both breadth but allows for specialization within the biological sciences. So, some people are more inclined to organismal work or ecological work, something maybe getting outside doing field stuff. Others might be more interested in, I've mentioned neuroscience. Others might be interested more in developmental biology. And so students are encouraged to specialize in the courses they like and enjoy most. And then there is ample opportunity for students to do research with professors. We recognized a few years ago, maybe 5-10 years ago, that it was going to be most helpful for students to begin having opportunities to do research early in their time at the college. And so we created this STEM Scholars program, where rising second years, so students who've had their first year of classes, are able to write competitively to be able to do research with professors over the summer. And that's an 8-week program, has a stipend attached and research funds. And that's really an amazing way for students to begin doing work with professors immediately. I'm currently working with 4 students. 2 are seniors. So 4th years, one's a 3rd year and one's a 1st year. And the 1st year student just saw me tinkering around with some equipment one day and asked me about it, and expressed an interest in that kind of work. And so I invited her to join us as well. And that's been great. The largest classroom that I ever used on campus has seats for about 40 students. So it's still a very intimate space. I taught at another institution, and my class size were 400 to 500 students when I was teaching elsewhere. Here my class is very small. I just finished lecturing in my anatomy class, and I've got 23 students in that class right now. So that's amazing. I'm also the instructor in lab, and so not only do I coordinate what we're doing in lab with the experience with what students are learning in lectures, I get to know them that much better. So I'm spending 3 hours a week with students, shoulder to shoulder, looking at the insides of a shark and giving them lectures about it. One of the ways that benefits students the most is because the professors really get to know the students as individuals, and vice versa. The students will come and ask for advice about thoughts on where they might go to graduate school. Very often we have colleagues at larger schools that have graduate programs that we're able to direct our students towards. We're all very active in research, and so maintained our relationships with our colleagues at larger graduate school institutions. I've had a number of students who've gone off and worked with colleagues at Georgia Tech or at Georgia State, but also institutions out of the state. So the professors get to know the students and are able to write letters on their behalf, saying something beyond, this student got an A in my class, and I think I have some vague idea of who they were. we're able to talk about times that we flipped over a rock and there was a salamander there, and Sydney dove in and grabbed it, and we all enjoyed looking at the salamander for 10 minutes before letting it go. And it's really a singular experience, the kind of thing that can only happen at a small school. The fieldwork that I'm currently doing is on fiddler crabs at the Georgia coast. And so that's a short drive, 4 or 5 hours down to the Georgia coast. And we'll either camp out at the coast somewhere, or rent a cabin and get up in the morning, go catch fiddler crabs all day, bring them back, measure them. We're going to be running experiments on a feeding manipulation of the fiddler crabs, hopefully this spring. And two of the students I've got working this semester are just crab nuts, and so that's particularly exciting for them. But I've also taken students to work on sex changing fishes with just my work in Puerto Rico, staying at the University of Puerto Rico's field station in the southeast coast, and then also in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I used to have a boat down there. There's a marine lab that it was on the east end of the island. It's now defunct, but it's the waters I still know from doing work there in the 80s, and so we've taken several field trips down there for staying in the island for a few weeks at a time. And it's a lot of snorkeling. We see sharks almost every day, sea turtles. We'll go out for a night snorkel and see little baby octopus, and it's really an amazing thing. I really cannot wait to get back to the field. That's the most fun part, is going out and getting dirty and seeing the natural world and then talking about it. That's one of the most fun things, is when you're driving down or driving home, or sitting on the back of the boat watching the sunset, eating a sandwich that got rained on while you were underwater, and talking about what you saw and what it means and why it happens that way. I remember being a 22-year-old graduate and having a professor who was very influential to me explaining something to me on the back of the boat driving out to the reef, and it changed my life. The understanding that he led me to in about 30 seconds was just mind-boggling. When I do field work with students, we're very often driving or flying to field locations. I've taken students to Puerto Rico, to the Virgin Islands, to California, and to the Georgia coast. And a conversation we almost always have is, how did you pick Agnes Scott? What made you, as a young person, decide that you wanted to come here as a student? And funnily enough, students will frequently say that it wasn't their plan. They weren't thinking necessarily about coming to women's college, but that they chose to interview and spend a day or two on campus and learn a little bit about what the experience was like. And then I would ask them if they were happy with that decision, and they don't even let me finish that sentence before they exuberantly, oh yes, this was the best decision that I ever made. And that is like every single time I've had that conversation, that is the response I get. The students who choose to come here are inevitably thrilled with that wise choice, and cannot conceive of how close they came to making the mistake of not coming here, of going somewhere else. The friendships they make, the relationships they make with the college, with the professors, with each other, is just without any conceivable parallel.